Hi everyone, we're Group 8 and we're doing the competitive supply chain analysis on Nike. My name's Netta.
I'm Eileen.
I'm Lily.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Kiana.
Okay, so to start with the background and history, the Nike swoosh is very well known in the sports, clothing, and shoes industry. The company has grown enormously from high-profile endorsements, modern designs, and successful PR campaigns in pop culture. Famous athletes such as LeBron James, Tiger Woods, and Michael Jordan have all worked with Nike. It started with an average track runner coming out of college and a coach who loved the connection between speed and design. Phil Knight ran track with Coach Bowerman in 1964. The coach had a fascination with optimizing runners' shoes. Phil was the first student to try Coach Bowerman's shoes. The rest is history, and since then, the company has only continued to grow upwards, helped in part by a series of clever ad campaigns, most famously the 1988 Just Do It campaign.
With Nike's growing customer base and an increase in demand for their products, Nike has a good system for measuring the demand of their products and producing enough for their drops. In 2017, Nike introduced the Consumer Direct Defense, which allows them to deepen one-to-one connections. They do this by accelerating innovation and product creation, moving even closer to the consumer through key cities. The Consumer Direct Defense is also fueled by Nike's triple-double strategy, where they double innovation by accelerating the impact of new innovation platforms, double speed by cutting product creation cycle times in half, and double direct connections with consumers and shape the future of retail. The Consumer Direct Defense strategy is fueled by Select, which is a retail predictive analytics and demand sensing firm based in Boston. According to an article by Nike, Select holds a cutting-edge intellectual property portfolio across data science and software engineering. This will allow retailers to optimize inventory across an omnichannel environment through hyper-local demand predictions. Nike has also introduced the Express Lane, which quickly creates, updates, and fulfills products in response to consumer demand. Michael Spillane, the president of categories and product, uses the Express Lane strategy and is leading an end-to-end design-to-delivery organization, which will place greater resources in the categories with the highest potential to fuel growth.
As of today, Nike's largest market is North America with revenues of $14.4 billion, which is followed by Europe, Middle East, and Africa with revenues of $9.3 billion combined. Third is Greater China with revenues of $6.6 billion. In 2018, Nike had 1,182 stores across the world, with 392 located in the United States and 790 internationally. Because Nike primarily targets the middle to upper middle class, its products are priced higher and most of its brick and mortar stores are located in urban areas with high market densities. However, Nike also has a large number of outlet stores, which gives people who don't live in major urban areas the opportunity to purchase products at a cheaper price. For customers who prefer to not visit a store, there is the option to purchase products online with their quick delivery times. Nike has consistently excelled in the area of brand loyalty, especially due to their endorsements with famous and professional athletes. The first map shows how many customers in the United States bought Nike shoes within the last 12 months. The second map shows the same, but for Adidas, one of Nike's main competitors. In 2020, 19.87% to 28.24% of consumers in the US purchased Nike shoes within the last 12 months. That is almost double the percentage of consumers who have purchased Adidas shoes in the last 12 months.
In 2012, Nike introduced their Manufacturing Index and their Sustainability Manufacturing and Sourcing Index, their SMSI. Their Manufacturing Index scores their factories on 4 categories: sustainability, cost, quality, and on-time delivery. Within this system, their SMSI is what focuses on assessing the sustainability component as well as ensuring their factories earn a bronze rating at a minimum. Nike also has a Material Sustainability Index, or SMSI, which accounts for more than 50% of Nike's Footwear Sustainability Index and Apparel Sustainability Index, which measure the complete environmental profile of each product. Through the SMSI, Nike measures contract factory performance on a scale from red, which means the factory is unsuccessful in meeting compliance, yellow, meaning that inconsistencies are detected, bronze, meaning it meets baseline compliance, silver, meaning it exceeds standards and innovation, and lastly, gold, meaning it meets world-leading standards and innovation. These are screenshots from the 2020 Targets Performance Summary. It shows the growth or decline in how these performances measure from their 2015 baseline to 2019, and then give an overall target goal for the future. These are just a few of their performance measures, which Nike takes very seriously.
So for the plan activities, like we said before, Nike has acquired a predictive analytics firm called Select. With this cloud-based analytics platform, Select allows Nike to maximize its inventory across its omni-channel environment by delivering hyper-local demand predictions. The primary target of the sales and operations planning, also called S&OP process, is to determine what and how much your customers are going to buy and your capabilities to meet this demand. Nike focuses on advanced technology and current trends in the market.
When it comes to the actual making of its products, Nike does not fall into one specific make category. Assuming their customer is individual consumers rather than a wholesaler or retailer, it seems that Nike's production is mostly make to stock with some assemble to order. It's important to clarify the difference between these make strategies. Make to stock is a traditional production strategy that matches on-hand inventory with anticipated customer demand. Assemble to order is a production strategy where products are assembled once they have been ordered. Typically, the parts for these items are manufactured in advance, but not assembled. One key difference that can help further diversify these two production strategies is that make to stock tends to follow the pathway of factory, materials, warehouse, whereas assemble to order tends to follow the pathway of factory, materials, customer. About 96% of Nike's sales are made up of footwear and apparel, with only a small fraction of these sales attributed to the custom shoes they sell through Nike ID. This means the majority of footwear and apparel Nike sells get sold directly from their stores or through other retailers and wholesalers who prefer to have predetermined stock. Therefore, Nike uses make-to-stock approach for the majority of their products. Retailers can put in an order months in advance so that Nike can make their exact order and supply the store's inventory with nearly no waste. Now, the small portion of this 96% of footwear and apparel that is made of the Nike ID custom shoes is most likely produced using assemble to order, given that each order is custom and made unique. This would mean that the manufacturers of the custom shoes have all different styles and all different parts ready on deck so that when an order comes in, they can simply assemble and ship it out to the customer. Nike is known for being the pioneer of manufacturing outsourcing strategy, given that in 2019, it outsourced about 93% of its shoe manufacturing and over 60% of its apparel manufacturing. Nike has suppliers and manufacturers in over 42 countries while maintaining efficient delivery time for all of its orders.
Like Lily mentioned, Nike's supply chain has two key principles: outsourcing and diversification. All of the manufacturing for footwear and apparel is contracted out to independent suppliers outside of the United States. Nike does not own a single factory for manufacturing their products. In 2019, Nike's footwear was manufactured by 112 factories in 12 different countries. The 3 different countries with the majority of these factories were Vietnam, China, and Indonesia. However, no single factory accounted for more than 9% of the overall branded footwear, which allowed Nike to not be too reliant on any one site. The apparel is similarly manufactured, but there were a total of 334 apparel factories in 36 different countries in 2019. The 3 countries with the majority of these factories were China, Vietnam, and Thailand. Overall, outsourcing can bring many advantages that include lower costs, increases in competitiveness, and risk reduction.
Nike has many distribution centers across the world, including countries in Africa, the Americas, Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. For orders placed by customers in the United States, packages are sent by cargo ship to either of Nike's distribution centers in Memphis, Tennessee, or Foothill Ranch, California. After the distribution center receives the products, they are shipped all over the United States to individual customers, businesses, and Nike distributors and retailers. They are shipped either through UPS or FedEx, depending on the shipping option the customer selects. Earlier this February, Nike announced a collaboration with Geek Plus, a global provider of smart logistics solutions to provide same-day delivery for Nike customers in Japan. To do this, Geek Plus has provided more than 200 smart robots to Nike's new distribution center in Japan. These smart robots help to transport products and packages directly to the warehouse worker, which has helped to reduce labor costs and make day-to-day warehouse operations more efficient.
Among its many other qualifications, there's one prominent reason that Nike is a leader in its industry. This reason being its industry-leading lean supply chain, which decreases manufacturing overhead and saves Nike a significant amount of money. A lean supply chain is the result of lean manufacturing, which essentially aims to reduce waste during all steps of the supply chain and in turn promotes more efficiency. Nike's supply chain can be categorized into different elements, including outsourcing, diversification, and corporate social responsibility. Being one of the first multinationals to outsource the majority of its product, outsourcing has become a key element of Nike's supply chain. Another key element of Nike's supply chain is diversification. Like with anything else, the more diversified, the less risk there is. This element goes hand in hand with outsourcing, as Nike has diversified its outsourced suppliers and has a diverse array of products ranging from shoes to water bottles. Lastly, Nike focuses much of its supply chain efforts on corporate social responsibility, which again goes hand in hand with the lean supply chain it is known for. By minimizing waste, Nike can also minimize its environmental footprint, which seems to be one of their bigger initiatives.
Nike has been at the forefront of using new technology in their supply chain operations to speed up the process while improving their efficiency and accuracy. Recently, Nike started using radio frequency identification, or RFID technology, to keep track of all of their inventory and to speed up their supply chain operations. RFID technology is a technology whereby digital data encoded in RFID tags or smart labels are captured by a reader via radio waves. These tags have allowed Nike to meet consumer demands while keeping their inventory down, because this technology provides Nike more accurate information about the demand of their products so they can produce a more accurate amount of products. Nike has tried to further cut down their lead times in half by using digital demand sensing. Digital demand sensing is mainly based on variables in supply and demand, which uses updated data to create more accurate short-term forecasts, so companies are able to make more accurate decisions in their supply chain operations. Digital demand sensing allows Nike to improve its local demand predictions while operating at a global scale based on the data collected on consumer demand. This data helps them decide the right time to target the right consumers and also helps them manage their local supply chain systems.
So a little bit on Nike sustainability efforts. Nike has set 3 strategic aims to guide their sustainability goals: minimize environmental footprint, transform manufacturing, and unleash human potential. They use finite technology in their shoes to engineer every stitch to produce maximum performance for athletes while also producing 60% less waste than traditional cut and sew methods. Nike is also reducing waste and water use with their performance products. Since 2010, more than 3 billion plastic water bottles have been extracted from landfills and converted into recycled polyester for Nike performance products. At the same time, their color dry technology, which dyes fabric using zero water, has saved more than 20 million liters of water.
Nike has been in business for over 56 years, and they are at the top of their game. It is impossible to find someone who doesn't recognize their famous swoosh or catchphrase, "Just do it." Their growing demand is no match for their advanced supply chain operations, and Nike continues to show true value in their customers around the globe. Throughout the years, they have made so many advancements in technology, outsourcing, and sustainability. They may have some room to grow when it comes to minimizing their environmental footprint, since only out of 69% of their products, 41% of their apparel, and 30% of their footwear are being made with sustainable materials, but they are definitely well on their way. Nike inspires every single one of their customers to be unstoppable, which is also the perfect way to describe this company. Thanks for watching.